this video, we'll be discussing about mobile communication. It is very important that we should know about this topic because rapid advancements are frequent in this technology. We'll be looking into its various topics like its evolution, basic concepts, fundamental techniques, and also I'll be briefing about the procedure of making a call.
Let's have a look onto the topic, the evolution of mobile radio communications. The first wireline telephone system was introduced in the year 1877. Mobile communication systems emerged in 1934 and it was based on amplitude modulation schemes. But it was only accessible to some public organizations. During the Second World War, that is in 1940s, frequency modulation technique by Edwin Armstrong developed and the mobile radio communication systems started to have many new changes. And by 1946, mobile telephone was introduced. But it didn't get much popularity. And with the development of cellular concept in 1960s at the Bell Laboratories, mobile communications started to serve wider populations. And in 1970s, when it got connected to the public switch telephone network, the number of mobile users increased. AMPS was the first US cellular telephone system and it was introduced in the year 1983. This graph represents the increased number of subscribers in United States. The count is marked in millions. This graph indicates the number of worldwide mobile subscribers. This is based on the ITU World Telecommunication Database. Even in the year 2007, the count reached around 3 billion. And we know the present condition is very much higher. In conventional mobile communication systems, a high power transmitter was used for a large geographic coverage area. But a high power radio transmitter causes harm to the environment. But the present mobile communication replaces the high power transmitters by low power transmitters by dividing the coverage area into small segments called cells. Each cell is a small hexagonal area with a base station located at the center of the cell which communicates with the user. When a mobile unit moves from the coverage area of one base station to the coverage area of another base station, that is, from one cell to another, then the signal strength of the initial base station may not be sufficient to continue the call in progress. So, the call has to be transferred to the other base station. And this mechanism is known as handoff. Each cell uses a certain number of available channels and a group of adjacent cells together use all the available channels. This cluster can repeat itself and hence the same set of channels can be used again and again. In order to utilize the available channel capacity, the number of users should be increased. That is, multiple users should be accommodated. For that, some multiple access techniques were used. Time division multiple access, code division multiple access, and frequency division multiple access. In FDMA, each user can be identified by its unique frequency. Similarly, in CDMA, the code is made unique. And with time division multiple access, each users were given unique time slot. Numerous mobile radio standards were also introduced. AMPS is Advanced Mobile Phone System that was introduced in US. PACS is Personal Access Communication System. You might be familiar with GSM, Global System for Mobile Communications. It is a standard developed by European Telecommunication Standards Institute. Nippon Telegraph and Telephone, NTT. The NTT Docomo service is very popular. PHS or Personal Handy-Phone System and Interim Standard 95 was the first ever CDMA based digital cellular technology. Now we'll discuss the structure of a basic mobile communication system. We'll start from the mobile unit. It is termed as mobile station or the subscriber unit. An MS communicates to a fixed base station. These base stations helps to communicate to the desired user at the other end with the help of MSC. MSC is the mobile switching center. MSC is the switching equipment used for routing mobile phone calls, and it is contained within the MTSO or the Mobile Telephone Switching Office. It also contains the equipment for controlling the cell sites that are connected to the MSC. This MSC provides an interface or connectivity to the public switch telephone network PSTN, that is, the network to which the wired telephone networks are connected. And these MSCs are connected to the telephone networks, and this will be the fixed backbone network. It is a wired network that links all the other telephone networks also. Let's have a detailed look of this mobile station. This is the technical term given to our mobile unit. This MS consists of a transceiver, control circuitry, duplexer, and an antenna. This transceiver is a combination of transmitter and receiver. A duplexer is a device which allows the transmitter and the receiver to share the same antenna. Similarly, the base station is also having different units. We all are familiar with base station. It consists of transceiver and channel multiplexer, along with antennas mounted on the tower. Different types of antennas like circular antennas or rectangular antennas are used in mobile communication. The base station are also linked to a power source for the transmission of radio signals for communication. There are different types of radio transmission techniques. It can be categorized as simplex system, half duplex system, and full duplex system. In simplex system, the communication is unidirectional. That means the first user can communicate with the second user, but the second user cannot communicate with the first user. One example for such a system is pager. You might have seen such pagers in which messages are received but no communication is possible to the other end. Half duplex system. It allows non-simultaneous bidirectional communication. That means communication is possible in both the directions, but not simultaneously. Walkie-talkies are example for half duplex system. In such a system, the first user can communicate with the second user, but the second user can communicate to the first user only after the first user has finished his conversation. At a time, the user can only transmit or receive information. The two-way simultaneous communication is possible with full duplex system. In this case, user 1 and user 2 can simultaneously transmit or receive. This kind of communication is possible with the help of some duplexing techniques, that is FDD or TDD. In frequency division duplexing, two-way radio communication is possible by using two distinct radio channels. In such a system, the frequency used for the forward direction and the frequency used for the backward direction are different. In mobile communication, for the forward channel, that is the downstream from the base station to the mobile station, one particular frequency will be used. And a second frequency will be used for the upstream direction, that is the reverse channel from the MS to the BS. Because of the pairing of these frequencies, simultaneous transmission in both directions are possible. Usually, to reduce the interference between the upstream and downstream transmissions, a minimum frequency separation is maintained between these two frequencies. And in time division duplexing, a single frequency band will be used for both the directions. TDD operates by toggling transmission directions over a time interval. This toggling takes place very rapidly, and so the user will not be recognizing this. There are 4 types of operational channels that come into action during a mobile call. Forward voice channel, reverse voice channel, forward control channel, and reverse control channel. The channel FVC is used for the voice transmission from the BS to the MS. RVC is used for the voice transmission from the MS to the BS. The other two are control channels that are used for controlling the activity of a call. That is, they are used for setting up calls, to divert call to unused voice channels, etc. They are also known as setup channels. These channels transmit and receive call initiation and service request messages. FCC is used for the control signaling purpose from the base station to the mobile station. And RCC is used for the call control purpose from the MS to the BS. Let's have a look how a mobile call is made. What happens when we make a call? There is a systematic procedure in connecting a call. Let's have a brief idea about this. When a mobile is idle, it searches for the FCCs with the highest signal strength. Usually for a particular country or a continent, this control channel will be the same. By this action, the mobile unit will be in connection with the network. When a user wants to make a call initiation request is sent on the reverse control channel, that is, from the MS to the BS. Along with this request, the mobile phone also sends its mobile identification number, an electronic serial number, and also the mobile identification number of the person that need to be connected. This MIN refers to a 10-digit unique number that is used to identify a mobile phone. It could be our phone number, but in some cases it is different. The base station receives this data and sends it to the mobile switching center, MSC. MSC validates the request by checking the MIN with the records on its database. If it is valid, a connection to the call party is made. The MSC then instructs the base station to access specific unused voice channel pair. The base station then sends a message to the mobile to move to the particular channels, and it also sends a signal to the mobile for ringing. In order to maintain the quality of a call, the MSC adjusts the transmitted power of the mobile, which is usually expressed in decibels. As said earlier with the handoff mechanism, if the mobile is moving from one cell to another, the signal has to be transferred to the other base station. In such cases, in order to maintain the call, the MSC transfers the call to one of the unused channels of the new base station, or it transfers the control of the current voice channels to the new base station. Let's discuss another case when a call is made and there are no free voice channels available. Then the mobile unit will be hearing a message that the network is busy. This condition happens when a large number of calls are made from within a coverage area of a single base station. All these steps mentioned happens within few seconds, and so the user is not able to identify it. That means without much delay, the user starts hearing the ringing tone as soon as the call is placed. Thank you for watching.